sometimes I actually have camera operators here to shoot it and make it look beautiful. And it's not just up to me. It sucks. All right. I'm going to start then. I am here. I'm interviewing Andrew Arena, Charles Stemen, and Kyle Tilleman. Yep. They went on Artificial Adventures, ChatGPT, and a Modern Mountain Odyssey in Mountain Outlaw Magazine, currently on newsstands. And you wrote about this adventure you went on, this Mountain Dew Code Red fueled sojourn through the Beartooths that was designed by ChatGPT. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Yep. That's correct.
All right. Before we get started.
Oh no.
You know what's coming.
I have a feeling.
Yeah. We're gonna crack a couple open for this, guys.
Andrew, is this PTSD?
Yeah, a little bit.
Here we go.
Have you had one since?
Yeah. Charlie and I just went on a mountain bike trip, and he asked me if I'd had one since, and I said I had not. So here we go.
There. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
We're gonna go through it, but the first question I have to ask you: did AI write the article?
No.
I guess that's Andrew's question.
No, it would have been a lot easier that way. That would have taken a lot less time.
Woo, that is sweet.
Yeah, it would have been in the fall article then if AI wrote it.
You wrote it.
I wrote it.
You wrote it. You guys took pictures.
Correct.
You were all involved. Mm-hmm. Walk me through it. Okay? I don't care who talks. You can all talk. You can take turns.
Let's start with Charlie. He was kind of brainchild from it. He's the one who kind of thought of it.
Yeah, I think I got the idea because I read an article where someone used ChatGPT to like plan their workday, and it had like some comedy in it with how like poorly it went basically, and I started thinking, that's kind of funny, but what if you used it for an adventure trip or like something like that? So that's kind of how I got the idea, and then I kind of like threw it around a little bit to these two, and they were both into it.
But in the article, it talks about some late nights that you had with ChatGPT, just trying to get everything right. Yeah.
So
and maybe you fell in love with it a little bit. Did you get heard?
He might have got a little too deep.
But how much work did it take to get because this is very specific.
Yeah,
the itinerary, the diet, the beverages, everything. You had to go deep.
It was not the first thing I plugged in. It was like exactly what we did. It took a while to like figure out how to prompt it in a way that it would give something like usable, basically.
Okay. Yeah, because it gave some really ridiculous ones early on that were like totally not doable. Like it was saying like hike this, then climb this, and it's like as a bird fly, it's like 3 miles, but there's no hiking trails, and it'd be like a 45-mile day, I think.
Just super impractical.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it would just pick like random mountains in the range you were in and be like, go summit that in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it would be like impossible to even do in the afternoon.
All right.
But that's kind of what we wanted too, was a little bit of that like, it had to be possible, like some kind of mix in between.
Okay. And what was the timeline from when you started this research to when you actually left?
Oh man,
I feel like it was like midsummer, and we did it. What did we do the first week of September?
Yeah, we did it Labor Day weekend, I think.
It's probably like a month and a half.
Oh wow, okay. I expected it to take a lot longer than that to produce this stuff.
Yeah, well, it's kind of amazing. I mean, 3 adults, typically it's so hard to get something scheduled, but I guess that we were able to figure something out. And it's an outdoor trip, so I guess it was easier to schedule. Like, let's get this going.
And so in the article, it also says that you weren't all that close, maybe. And so were you friends, or did ChatGPT pair you up for this?
All of us were friends. I didn't really know Kyle super well. We had hung out a couple times. Charlie and I knew each other, and
Charlie's the
know each other.
I think
he's the connection between the group.
Charlie's the glue.
Exactly.
That's
how we
Charlie's
are
in the
right
middle.
Yeah,
you guys would have been uncomfortable if you'd been sitting next to each other.
That's why you put him in the middle. Yeah.
All right. What was the closest that you came to cheating, or did you cheat? Did you stay faithful to the ChatGPT?
We stayed very. I don't think we cheated at all. Like, we were really strict about that. And I think in the end of the trip, I would have been pissed if we like cheated, because I didn't get coffee the first 2 days. And one of those days was like a 4 a.m. wake up call for an alpine climb. which like not getting your morning coffee kind of sucks for
and
that.
ChatGPT did not allow you.
No,
to
it just
coffee.
yeah, it just
because he doesn't eat pork.
Yeah, I guess I don't eat pork. So
That's the only
like, gave me that
dietary
one.
restriction I put in for Kyle was in the prompt. Was that
Yeah.
he doesn't eat pork. And
No
Kyle
pork.
got no alcohol. He got like
Yeah.
no caffeine, no other meats.
It just
Like,
extrapolated all.
Yeah,
that
I guess
you
so.
based
Yeah,
on
I was
the
like,
no
this guy
pork
doesn't
thing.
need coffee to get going, but that's not true. I mean, it worked out.
You
But
got
thankfully, we had
orange
an
juice,
hour high. Yeah, I got orange juice that we had to haul to the top of the climb.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we stuck to it. I mean, we had to stick orange juice, like iced orange juice in a container to bring up to the top of the climb. We had like, what did we have? Like a salmon wrap that we had to bring to the top of the climb too.
Somebody
So
did, yeah.
Yeah, one of
Somebody
those, which
did.
they look pretty heinous at the top of the climb
It was
after being
nasty.
stuffed in a backpack.
Oh, that's true. It'll get all
Yeah.
mashed and everything.
Yeah.
So, it's 3 days, 4 days,
3.
3 days.
3 days in the Beartooths.
Yep.
Talk about the different activities. Did you tell it that you wanted to do all this stuff, or did you
So-
just say extreme?
Back
sports?
to the prompt. What I did was I said, here's what we want to do. We want you to plan a weekend worthy of being published. What do you need to know? And then it came back with, well, it asked dietary restrictions, and then it asked what activities we can do and what we're open to, and what levels and stuff. So
Yeah.
I fed it, everything that we knew how to do and everything we could do, and our dietary preferences, I guess. So that's what it had. So it knew everything we activity-wise could do,
Okay.
but we didn't pick which one of those, I guess.
And you ended up doing gravel biking, mountain climbing,
Mountain biking.
mountain biking,
Running.
trad
Trail
something.
running.
Yep.
Well, trad climbing.
So that was-
Trad climbing is mountain
Yeah,
climbing.
Yeah.
Rock
It was like a
climbing.
five pitch route. So it's
Okay.
like a, I don't know,
Running?
1,000 feet tall.
Running.
Yeah, trail running.
Yep.
Fly fishing.
Andrew
Fly
fished.
fishing.
We didn't get
Yeah.
to fish.
I didn't do any catching. I did fishing.
Yeah, we just had sides that night.
Yeah.
So for dinner.
And blueberry cobbler.
Oh yeah, no, in a terrible blueberry cobbler that you'd think so. We had our grocery list. I guess it didn't give us a grocery list, but we had a very detailed grocery, menu.
Yeah.
And we probably spent like $750 in groceries between the three of us.
Wow.
And which was that was partially our fault, but I for the blueberry cobbler, I was like, we got to stick to this. I'm buying vanilla extract. And I bought vanilla extract, but what was the
forgot
ingredient?
flour.
I forgot flour.
Oh, no.
Sorry, so that was kind of important for a blueberry cobbler, but
A loose.
it worked out
yeah,
fine. It
yeah,
was like
more
a
of
blueberry soup.
Yeah.
It's fine. But
Maybe
we tried.
a crumble, a crisp.
Yeah, there was a crisp to it. I don't know. It wasn't flour, so but
And highlights from that. What was your favorite part?
Highlight for me was the climb. I'm not a climber, and that was pretty wild experience. I have climbed, so the climbing itself wasn't necessarily revolutionary experience for me, but when we got to the top, normally when I climb, we have a route that we hike down the backside. When we got to the top, these guys told me that we had to rappel off the top for
Which
how
means
many,
straight back down what you just climbed.
straight
It was
into
off a
the
different
air,
side.
just free floating down
yeah,
like a spider.
It wasn't just a rappel; it was a hanging rappel, and it was double rope, meaning it was twice as long as what.
As a spider
Yeah.
would rappel off a web.
You're just
Yeah.
dangling.
Just
Just
dangling.
hanging.
Yeah.
Which those are the scariest rappels. You
Yeah.
don't have anything under your feet. You're
That
just
was the
hanging.
scariest thing I've ever done. I
Yeah,
think.
we safety sandwiched Andrew on that one. Charlie went first,
Yeah.
and then we were like, let's safety sandwich Andrew. We'll let him go in the middle and talk him through this.
It still felt really scary.
Yeah.
But after my feet touched the ground, I think for me, that was the highlight. Just because I don't climb very often.
Because you were terrified.
And I was terrified.
Yeah.
And then I lived.
And you got to
Yeah.
overcome a fear. That's good.
Yeah.
There must have been some things that the ChatGPT got very right, like that. Anything else that sticks out that you'd feel like, oh, I definitely wouldn't have done this if it hadn't been for the AI?
I mean, I think even just after the climbing, it had us do a trail run, and we're all pretty beat, but we're like,
Yeah, I would never.
we
have
got to
run
do. I never would
after
have done that, but it actually turned out to be
great.
an awesome night. We ran to this lake that was a few miles up, and got to run back at sunsets, and we're like, dang, that was actually pretty nice to do. You know?
Okay.
It kind of took us out of our comfort zone a little more so. So I think that was pretty nice.
Doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Was type 2 fun you call that, I think, where afterwards like, dang, that was nice. You know?
Okay. Not fun at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And conversely, what did the AI get very wrong?
Well, I think on a trip like this, I was going to say food. Because
Red.
on a trip like this,
It's actually pretty good.
It's good, but you don't want to drink 16 of them.
I thought it was going to be worse.
Everybody wants to talk about soda's bad, but that tastes like nature intended there.
It's dew with a rush of cherry flavor.
Sponsor.
Code Red. I interrupted with you.
Yeah, so normally on a trip like this, like you'd kind of have group meals just for like logistics and time. And it gave us each our own like meal plan that we had to cook individually. The only thing we shared was breakfast.
Yeah, we had shared breakfast.
So you had 3 different meals.
That's why we had to
every
spend
time.
so much money too.
Yeah, that's why it wasn't. Yes,
and it gave me and Kyle like pretty complex meals, and mine were like my dinners were like paired with Chardonnay. And, like,
yeah, Charlie got all the gourmet, but yeah, it was like all these things.
But like gourmet like pasta dishes I had to cook, and then like Andrew just like splurting meat out of a packet onto a piece of bread.
Or you had mac and cheese one night. Yeah, we were pretty jealous when we were there at like 9:30 p.m. just working on our meals, and Andrew's there like with his mac and cheese.
Was the AI telling you had to do all this like cooking and prep work?
Well, it gave us the meals.
It gave us gourmet meals.
But didn't make it easy to make it in a camping situation.
Yeah, I mean, no, not exactly, I suppose.
Okay.
And we didn't just want to get like mountain house meals, or something simple. Like we're following this. So.
All right, so AI could have done better on the food front.
Yeah. But it was also like kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was kind of fun and not something you would normally do.
Yeah. I eat like that all the time. So it's,
it's
really normal for me.
You can get most of what you want at Town Pump.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even have to spend that much money. These guys spent a lot.
But you were able to source all this other kind of gourmet stuff in Bozeman, or did you have to leave the city or order it on Amazon or something?
Yeah, just Town and Country. Yeah.
Okay. They had everything that.
I mean, we had like fondue one night.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had chocolate fondue the first night. What? Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
We had to figure out how to like boil chocolate.
Yeah, we boiled it in a pan because Charlie almost bought a fondue fountain. I was like, no, we're not going that far. We can melt it in a pan.
Is this all backpacking or like glamping? Is it coming out of a van?
Car camping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the old Montana carpool up there. Like we had 3 of us, and we had two vans and a truck because we're all sleeping in our vehicles.
All right.
So
it sounds like a true adventure, and now you're the ChatGPT adventure guys. Mm-hmm. Has Microsoft reached out to either sponsor you or sue you?
Yeah, there's a lawsuit pending.
Yeah,
we can't talk about it really.
Yeah, they're after you next. So okay.
Get
your letter from Bill Gates.
Send that cease and desist.
Yeah, exactly.
We know what to do with junk mail around these parts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we shredded them. So.
Whatever. Bill Gates, he's like up at the
okay.
YC. He's a buddy.
They'll be all
yeah.
right.
Oh
it's fine. Are we working on the next adventure yet?
No talks the adventures.
Yeah.
No.
This all happened last summer?
Yeah, end of last summer. Yeah.
Did you take a dude trip this summer?
Oh, not the 3 of us.
Yeah, we haven't yet. These guys were just out on an adventure in Helena, I guess. But
yeah, we just went out running and mountain biking. But
so this is a one-off.
I mean, hopefully not forever. But yeah, as of right now, I mean, the technology takes a toll on a person. So all of us are still recovering, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun read.
Good.
Yeah.
If you were to do another one, what's your first instinct for where you'd go? Where do you begin, Charlie, with your research on this one?
I don't know. I mean, I'll say that for having like a technology plan the entire trip, this is probably the most planning I've done for a trip, or at least a weekend-sized trip, like ever. So I wouldn't say that the way that we did it like reduces any work.
Ironically, I felt like I did more planning for this trip that was planned by AI than I have for like any other weekend
Well, it
trip.
had so many demands, right?
But I think there are ways to probably...
if you don't...
Go over the second one, guys.
Oh, man. Whoa, dude, be careful. You could... Man, you might be driving after this.
I got the bug.
Yeah.
I like that.
You have more than Bill Gates after you. This is a funny story that Charlie asked ChatGPT to plan a prank on the boys. I think that was the wording of it. And so we're like deep in the blueberry cobbler making.
Was this in the Bluetooth speaker?
Yeah. I think it may have been in the caption, but like the whole, we didn't have enough room to fit the whole thing in. But yeah, Andrew and I are sitting there, and I think we're eating the blueberry cobbler, and then we just hear this like roar in that. And Andrew and I, Charlie's sitting in between us, just like he is now. And Andrew and I like both make eye contact, and Andrew just like, nope. And he and I both sprint to our trucks. And then we look back. I look back at Charlie. I'm like, Charlie, what are you doing? Did you not hit that bear? And then he's just looking back at us, laughing. And we're like, what's going on? And then he, showed us what happened. But he truly did. I mean, it was a pretty good AI planned prank. That was one of the
And
highlights.
the speaker really sold it.
Oh, it really sold it.
It was
It sounded good.
Realistic.
It sounded good.
Yeah.
Yeah, lifelike.
Yeah.
Good job, AI.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not listening to see if it's a speaker. If that's, I'm just running. It's, fight or flight. You're not like, is that a speaker? So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I have. But I think it's very obvious the one thing we need to do to wrap this up. All right. Charlie, pull out your robot girlfriend. Ask ChatGPT how we finish this interview.
Let's see what it says.
What's her name? You got a name
Jessica,
for her?
yeah.
Oh, Jessica. Ask Jessica.
Mm-hmm. How do we end the podcast?
I got double bounce. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. Okay, this was what Jessica told us to do, Charlie. Yes, sir. Fair enough. All right, well, I'll take it. Thanks a lot, ChatGPT.
Thanks, ChatGPT.
Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
This is outstanding. Wallace, try not to...